Hello, my friends. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Novella. Today is Friday, and that means a deep dive. And I'm a bit ashamed that I had to find out about this writer, novelist, through the TLS, although the Times Literary Supplement, although it is a Belgian author, who lived from 1855 to 1898, I believe. So I never heard of him. His name is Georges Rodenbach. Rodenbach is a very well-known name because it's a very well-known brewery, and he is family of that brewery. Now, although we have many breweries, over 500 or so, or even more, but Rodenbach has always been quite an important name in Belgium, and but I'd never heard of Georges Rodenbach. He was born in Tournai in 1855, and he grew up in Ghent, went to school there, with the Jesuits, and he loved Bruges. And he used Bruges as a backdrop, or no, actually as a main character in his novel that he wrote in 1892 and is called Bruges-la-Morte. It's also the same name in the English translation. There's a recent translation, and that's why I discovered it through the TLS, the Times Literary Supplement. Now, I read the book. It's rather short. It's like 160 pages, not even. And I was really surprised by how well written it was. So what is the book about? Well, there's a man, and he is a widower, and he lost his wife, which he adored. He adored his wife. And she used to have, well, when she was alive, she used to have braids, and he cut them off when she died after her death, and he put them in a glass box that stands on his piano. Now, he mourns and mourns and mourns, and actually his life is put on hold. And then at a certain point, while he's walking, roaming the streets of Bruges, he thinks, well, Bruges is a bit like my life, you know. It has halted because Bruges used to be a sea harbor, but then the natural environment made sure that boats couldn't get through anymore. So he said it like it has been cut off life, and that's why he calls it Bruges-la-Morte, Bruges the dead. And he roams around in the city, and he describes the houses and the parks and the beguines and everybody who lives there. And he says, well, it's grey, it's dark, it's gritty, it's cold, it's old. Yeah, he sees everything dark. But suddenly, he sees in the crowd a young woman that really looks like his wife. And yeah, he's on a mission. He wants to meet that woman. And finally he does, and her name is Jane. And she's a dancer. And yeah, of course, in the Catholic times, the severe Catholic times in Bruges, that was not a woman of reputation. That's not not a woman you should marry, because she was a dancer, not even an exotic dancer, just a dancer. And but he courts her, and he falls in love with her because she looked and made him think of his wife. But the more and more he learns to know her, the more he realizes, the more, well, when you look globally, he thinks, well, she looks really like my wife. But then when he starts to study her, her eyes, her nose, the way she sounds, her voice, her mannerisms, the more she is different than his wife. And then there's a twist in his mind, and he falls in love with Jane, but more for Jane. But Jane is a bit put off by him because he's so moody, and she kind of finds him creepy. But on the other hand, she's also intrigued by him and also by his money, because he's well off. Well, if you have a piano in the 1890s at home, you're not a factory worker. Let's keep it to that. But then everything turns and twists, and it becomes a very, very dark and gritty book. And it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I was blown away by it. I thought it was fresh, and the way he used Bruges as a sort of a symbol for his mourning, and then his falling in love with Jane. It's really well done, and it's a perfect book to read when you are going to visit or when you have visited Bruges. It's absolutely perfect. It really was so important and so well received in those days in 1892 when it came out, that it really started tourism in Bruges. And now Bruges is the most touristical city of Belgium. Keep it in Bruges, we'll reparty in Ghent. But anyway, so it was a marvelous read. It was really well done. Alan Hollinghurst is a big fan of this book. And let me see who translated it. I'm sorry, I forgot. It's translated by Mike Mitchell and Will Stone, and it has an introduction by Alan Hollinghurst. So people think that Alfred Hitchcock was, in a way, inspired by this book to make Vertigo. And I can feel the same vibe, that's for sure. It's very gothic and dark, and it has a really good vibe. And there are many pictures that he made in the book that are still the same now. That's how well preserved they kept Bruges. So it's a wonderful read. It's a perfect book that you should read when you go to Bruges, if you visit Belgium. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope I'll see you again on Sunday. My apologies for last Wednesday. I didn't make a video because it was so noisy outside till late in the evening. There were parties going on everywhere. There was something to do. I didn't know what it was. I wasn't invited. But it was, it was too noisy. So my apologies for that. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again. Bye-bye.